where to start? We're sitting outside on a beautiful Colorado morning. The rain's finally stopped. The sun's shining for a change. It's been a lot of rain, which we definitely need, but it's nice to see things green up around us, which is good as well. Since St. George, training has not been what I was hoping to have it be. As if you watched the St. George recap, you saw that I did have a little bit of a crash coming out of T1 and was able to finish the race, but definitely wasn't comfortable. That actually turned into be a little bit more of an injury than I was hoping for it to be. And leading on, I had an MRI last week, and it turns out that I do have a torn meniscus in there. It's in a decent spot, so it's not locking or anything like that. So they don't think that surgery is going to be the biggest or the best option. But there's been a lot of swelling associated with that, so there was some other, some bursitis and some other things. So I ended up, it went away. I tried to get back into training, and the swelling came right back. And so I ended up having it drained yesterday, which is not the most fun thing in the world. But it didn't swell up again overnight, so that's positive. And we're taking a couple days off. I'll just swim today and yesterday, and then tomorrow I'm driving to Tulsa, and I'm not racing Ironman Tulsa, but I'm going to be there spectating. My wife's racing. We'll have a bunch of people from the team racing there as well, and so I'll be there in a spectator role, watching a fun race, and hopefully be able to do some riding when I'm there. And then when I get back, I'll return to running easily on Tuesday is the plan. I'm really still committed to the original plan of racing at 70.3 Des Moines. Obviously, living a bulk of my life in Iowa, it's really important for me to be on that start line if I can, and if I can do so healthily, or be healthy doing it. I'll have my wife's racing, my sister's racing, my sister-in-law's racing. We have a bunch of people from the team racing, and I've got a bunch of family who's planning on coming. So even if I'm on the start line at 85% fitness, as long as I'm healthy, I'm gonna be on there. If I'm not gonna do anything stupid. It's not that important of a race to risk the fall races that are really important to me, but if I can be there, I will. And then after that, I'm going to take a break, shut it down for a couple days, and then prep for Collins Cup, 70.3 Worlds, and Kona. So setbacks are obviously something that's going to happen. I've had a few in my career. I've been fairly fortunate that they haven't been. I've only had one real long-term setback. That was about 6 months, but it's definitely something that we all deal with. As age groupers, I'm sure you guys deal with it as well. And during those, the times when those little niggles pop up, or maybe they're a little bit bigger, I think it's really important to remind yourself, or have that conversation with the coach or whoever your support team is, whether it's a significant other or training friends or whatever, people that you trust. Have the conversation about what the long-term goals are, and how your choices now could affect that. If you're leading into Kona and you have a little bit, for example, and you have a little bit of one of the itis, inflammation, brothers, whatever, going on, maybe that's time where you're a little bit more aggressive. But if you're this far out, for me, it was a tough pill to swallow, but it was definitely the right choice to back things off a little bit, let the body settle down. If things are getting inflamed, there's a reason for it, and it's the body trying to protect itself. And so being smart about that and keeping the long-term goals in the sport in mind is kind of the best way that I'm trying to deal with any setback. It's not always easy, especially when you're in that kind of emotional state. For me, it was right after a race that I wasn't happy with. Obviously, at St. George, I didn't have the result that I wanted. I had great fitness going in there. I ran really well. I swam really well, and I ruined it with an issue coming out of T1, unfortunately. So the athlete mindset wants to just get back and race right away and just hammer the training. But so that was the initial emotional reaction that I had. But I have good support crew on my team, and they were able to help me get back to the rational side of things over that emotional response. It took a few more days than normal, probably because I was so frustrated with the result in St. George. But yeah, that team is really important to help remind you of the long-term goals. So from a training perspective, the plan after St. George was to do a bike block, and obviously still run and swim. I was actually able to get on board with that without the whole running portion, or without much running. I've done 3 30-minute runs last week, and after the third one my knee swelled right back up, and so I shut the running down. But last week I was able to get in a pretty heavy bike block, which is good. That's what I needed. That was kind of the plan all along, was to get to the summer when I can get outside and then really focus on pushing the bike. Volume wise, it was one of the heaviest weeks that I had. I do have to be careful, because with all that's going on with the knee, the left-right balance is off about 4%. Well, yeah, about 3 to 4%, or was at the start. And so strength-wise, I'm really having to make sure that I'm balancing out the hips and making sure that doesn't lead to any further injury down the road. When I was riding in 2019, leading into Kona, looking back at the data right before I got the stress fracture, that left-right balance was an indicator that something was going on, and I didn't pay attention to that. And so, Matt, Coach Bottrell, caught that right away. The first ride's like, okay, we got to keep on this and make sure that we're paying attention to that. And so I've been watching it. The last couple rides, it's been within 1.5%. So we're definitely going in the right direction. But that change happened when I shut down the running. Now that I've been off running for a couple of days, Coach Julie thought it would be best if I started out on the Ultra G or aqua running. I'm really not a fan of aqua running. I do it. I think there's great value to it, but it's boring. And so the only thing that makes it a little bit better is now that they have Bluetooth headphones, you can put your phone on the diving board, and actually I can listen to my book as I do it, and the time goes by a little bit faster. But I'd much rather not. I want to, when I go to the pool, I swim, I get my swim in as fast as I can, I limit the brakes, and I get out of the water. And the Ultra G is expensive. I don't have one here in Castle Rock that I know where I can find a situation where they'll let me in for a discounted rate or whatever. And so it was going to be really expensive really fast, or I was going to be driving up to Boulder every time I wanted to run. So instead of having to drive up to Boulder frequently, or pay a lot of money here in town to use an Ultra G, I reached out to a company called Lever. They're actually a Boulder-based company, and what they are is a portable unit that attaches directly to my treadmill. It's a pretty simple design, easy to set up, and it's got little dashes on it, so you can basically estimate how much your body weight is actually being taken off, and you can actually adjust the amount of lift that you get. So it's very similar to an Ultra G. It's just easy, portable, and in the long run a lot cheaper. And so I started talking with them, and they're giving me a unit to test out. And so I'm starting to use that a little bit now. That'll help relieve some of the stresses on the knee as we go. But also moving forward, I've been talking with Coach Julie as well, and a couple of her athletes do this also, is just using that and keeping that incorporated in our normal routine even after I get completely healthy, just to be able to keep the volume up. I'm running best when I'm at about 70 to 75 miles a week, but I just can't stay there year round just because of the pounding. I really don't like to run my aerobic miles slow. That's been a constant kind of back and forth between Coach Julie and I. And so this could be a really happy compromise, allowing me to run like I'm feeling that I have my normal stride, because that's really important to me, and feeling my best, but also keeping the pounding to a minimum. And so moving forward, I'm going to be incorporating 1 to 2 runs, maybe a longer run or a aerobic run, as well as maybe a tempo run, or just kind of depending where we're at in the build, using this system. So that's really where we're at right now. Yeah, just managing the knee. It's pretty much pain-free, which is great. So it's really just controlling the swelling. And I really think by taking a couple days easy off the knee, and then by introducing the kind of lower impact running with the lever, it's really going to help things along, and I'll be able to get to the start line in Des Moines. That's the plan. But again, I'm not going to be stupid and compromise the important races that I have coming up. Got 4 weeks before Des Moines, so plenty of time. Other than that, that's really all I've got for you. Thanks for tuning in. If you can help me out by hitting the like button, giving me a subscription, that'll help more people be able to see these updates. And also leave a comment if there's something that you want to see. Like I said, I'll be doing a review of the lever here very shortly, but if you want to see any other reviews or any products that you want me to kind of cover in the Ask the Prof, yeah, let me know in the comment section, and I'll see if I can get on it. Until next time.